We got a super edgy interview today, guys. We have Patrick Keelty on the Late Late Show interviewing Piers Morgan about Donald Trump wokeness controversies. This one's gonna be insane. Drop a comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, check out my Patreon, buy some merch, and let's get it, bro.
Welcome back, folks, to the Late Late Show. My next guest is a shy and retiring host who could start a row in an empty house. For some, he is a much-loved journalist and opinion former. For others, he's a much-too-loud rabble-rouser who'll say anything to get attention. However, one thing we can all agree on is that he's never been lost for words or needed to find a fence to sit on. Would you please welcome the star of YouTube's Uncensored, Mr. Piers Morgan?
Hitting that Donald Trump dance already.
I was doing my Donald Trump dance.
I was about to say.
I thought you'd all jump up and go with me.
Big.
You'd think that, but Ireland is full of left-wing wokies, guys, so they hate that type of thing.
Trump energy going on with that.
Not much fun.
Piers,
A lot of Trump energy.
Welcome to the show.
By the way, I heard Emily's interview, just for the record, about our dinner party.
Yes.
She was completely wrong about what would happen in the election, and I was completely right. Just for the record.
And I was completely right about it, guys, as well. I called it about 2 years ago, you know, even way long before people started calling it, and I was correct and everyone else was wrong. Check my old YouTube videos.
For your very attractive audience, by the way. Yeah, you're not easily bought, are you?
What I love, Piers, is that you've already given us your first answer without the first question even being asked. This is so.
Well, I've not done your show. I've not done it since you took over.
That's true.
And he's great, isn't he? I love him. So it's
and
great.
That was a late audience reaction.
Bit delayed, that.
I was about to say, you say a bit delayed. Quite a lot delayed.
A long 3 seconds, that one.
Yeah, they go, he's doing well. Not so much. Let's talk about your show, Uncensored. It's on YouTube, 3.5 million subscribers.
Massive channel. I react to the Dan Bilzerian interview. I react to a ton of interviews off Piers Morgan's Uncensored. Go check those out as well, guys.
What happens on the show?
You know, we just do whatever's in the news. We do debates. What we try and do is get people on both sides, and smart people don't like dummies, so you can't come on, unfortunately. And we get people to debate, whether it's the US election, whether it's the Israel-Hamas war, whether it's P. Diddy, whether it's the royal family, whatever it is in the news.
P. Diddy.
I want to have debates that young people in particular are having. You know, people say, why do you go on YouTube now? And I bet if I just said to the audience, young audience, how many of you use YouTube a lot? Put your hands up. Well, there's your answer, right?
Hey, how many use YouTube a lot? Your boy County Gaines, baby. Every single goddamn day we use YouTube, all right? No thing else, because YouTube is the #1 platform in the world. Forget about everything else, bro. And I am uncensored myself, guys. I am not one of these sheep, all these other Irish YouTubers. I am not like one of them, guys. I am 100% honest and not afraid to give my honest opinion, guys. And not easily bought either.
Right?
Bought and sold like most of your favorite TikTokers.
YouTube is now the new medium for young people. I've got 3 sons and a daughter, from 31 down to 13. None of them really watch much television. Live sport, maybe, your show, obviously. But actually what they do is they watch everything through YouTube. And in America, for the first time at an election, more people watched election coverage on the night on YouTube than watched it on traditional broadcast or cable television. So
that's unbelievable. And that'll tell you how many people watch YouTube and don't watch the mainstream media. I mean, we are the mainstream media. I get more views than any, you know, RT News, News Talk, Virgin Media. I get more views than them. So
there's been a real sea change. It's the future. It's the way everything's going. And I wanted to be at the start of it, not the finish.
So you're talking about election night. We're talking about guests. One of your old guests has ended up being re-elected. You predicted this. Why did you think he was going to win?
I mean, most sane people predicted it, guys. Most sane people predicted it because of the free speech, because of the money. I mean, that's what most people want, right? Money, right? Is most people kind of want and lean towards.
Well, I had a feeling look, just so you probably don't know because you're too young, this audience, but in 2008 I did a show called Celebrity Apprentice, and Donald Trump was the host. This is in America. And I ended up.
This is so funny how quiet the audience is. Everyone's like so on edge, man. They just can't handle any sort of like opposition. It's ridiculous.
So we became quite good friends from that. And after that, I went on his apprentice show each year as like his boardroom advisor. And then I went to CNN in America and I interviewed him probably 30, 40 times. And then this guy that I knew quite well, he was a kind of real estate billionaire tycoon, larger than life, great character and so on, suddenly runs for president.
They had a huge argument. They had a huge falling out for a long time.
15. And I can remember everyone mocking him. Everyone was laughing. He gave this big announcement at Trump Tower in New York. And I watched the reaction. I was like, wow, you don't know Donald Trump like I do. Because this guy would only be entering if he thought he could win. And sure enough, he ended up winning. And I wrote a column the day he ran saying, I think Trump will have the last laugh. Because I had a feeling when I went around middle America doing crime documentaries and things, I could just feel it. They wanted somebody who was just different to normal politicians. They wanted a kind of wrecking machine to what they saw as Washington bureaucracy and the kind of elite establishment.
And back in 2016, he didn't do that, guys. Now in 2024, he is doing that. So I would say in 2016, actually, most people were against him. I was not against Donald Trump per se, but I was like not fully there. I was like, okay, this isn't a good guy. You know, I think he's a lot of talk, guys. He's more of an entertainer. Whereas nowadays, we all see the bullshit. We all see Elon Musk on his side, RFK. You know, a lot of Democrats coming over to that side. So it's cool to see that.
And in Trump, they had their guy. You know, good, bad, and ugly. He was that person. And then 2020 was very hard to call because of the pandemic. You know, it didn't surprise me that he lost that, and he did lose. And I've told him to his face, you lost that, so stop pretending you won. But this time I got that feeling of 2016 only stronger.
Yeah.
And this time I felt it was like, yeah, he's going to win big. And I kept telling people he's going to win big. So the argument about whether Trump is just for the few, the kind of MAGA few, it's over. You know, he's now got a grip now over the majority of Americans. But as Emily said, he's got to now deliver on what he promised.
Would you say you've got a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump?
Yeah, because he has that with everyone.
Yeah.
I've had good times with him. I've had, you know, when he became president the first time, I interviewed him on Air Force One. I did him 3 or 4 times. Went to the Churchill war rooms, I remember, it was great. You know, met him in the Beast car they have, the presidents. All that kind of stuff was great. And then we had a massive falling out.
You did have a massive falling out.
You're going to remind me, aren't you?
We're going to remind you of what he said about Piers recently.
You see Piers Morgan? He sort of had it. I think Piers is over the hill. He opened the show with an interview of me. I did him a favor. I didn't want to do a stupid show. It's on Fox Nation. He opened with great ratings when he did me. And then after my interview was finished, he bombed, and he's now down over 70%. And maybe they'll someday learn that maybe they should hire me as an anchor. Should I go to work as an... We'll get the greatest rating.
That's so funny, man. We get the greatest ratings. Yeah, I mean, it's like almost like against the way things are going nowadays. It's crazy.
You also called him a loser.
He also did a statement. He did 4 statements about that. It was after our interview, and the last statement said, "I was so dead, I was catching flies." Look,
none of this takes a fizz out of you, does it?
No, I couldn't give a damn. It's all.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Even the audience seems like they're very sensitive, guys. Peter Kilty, very sensitive people. It's like, dude, go on YouTube, go on the internet, guys. You get insults all day long. I mean, I don't, but definitely Piers Morgan is, because he's a very controversial guy. He's mostly on the wrong side a lot of the time, guys. But obviously with this one, yeah, for sure.
Part of the Trump thing, you know.
And now, even though he said that, then you're back cozying up to him because he's president.
Well,
again,
no, I mean, but that was what, 2.5 years ago, and then about, I don't know, it must have been about 6 months later, the phone goes at home, and it's him, and he was still, you know, he was like, Piers, it's Donald. Are we good? I went, of course we're good, Mr. President. And we had a great chat like nothing had happened. And that's the thing about Trump, is that he'll blow hot and cold. I'm a bit like that. So I can hardly complain.
Are you similar to Donald?
For sure, guys. I mean, you can have good days, bad days. You can get into fights with people, you know, unless they like tarnish your name, which, I mean, Donald Trump wasn't really doing that. They were just kind of playing like this kind of edgy game about each other, right?
Trump, because I'm thinking that you're both good on social media. You divide opinion. A lot of people think you talk sense or out of your backsides.
Well, interestingly, I would say that Trump won this time for 3 reasons. He won because people trusted him more on the economy and to fix the cost of living crisis. They trusted him more to fix the crisis on the southern border in America, where they got a genuine illegal immigration crisis. Nearly 10 million people have come in illegally in the last 4 years. But
10 million? That seems preposterous.
actually, he talked about this when he won. He represents to a lot of Americans a core of common sense, he called it. And I think I'm the same. You know, people say to me, "Oh, you're so controversial." I'm like, well, which of my opinions is actually that controversial?
So you think you're the voice
Well,
of...
I would say his opinion on the things that are happening, you know, overseas and stuff like that. Some of those wars and stuff, but you know,
common sense.
I don't think my opinions are that controversial. I think that actually they're the opinions of the majority. When I was coming here today, the number of people who came up to me at the airport were like, "Piers, we're right behind you. Keep talking the common sense." Is that, am I near enough? I am
that was a pretty good Irish accent.
actually Irish, by the way, just so you know.
He said he's Irish. Yeah, I know Piers Morgan's actually like fully Irish. Like both his parents are Irish or something from Galway.
I've got Galway roots. My father was from Galway.
Bro, listen, I'm not going to claim Piers Morgan, but shout out Galway. Galway's the best place on the planet, bro.
So I do feel like I'm one of you, even if you'd rather I wasn't.
So, so those are the people that actually came up to you, and
Well,
you didn't see the people running the other way.
Well, no, I saw a few people run the other way, but the ones that came up though was all about common sense. Keep giving your opinion, because we got to a weird stage a year or so ago where people were terrified of expressing opinions.
Yeah, and I see it nowadays, guys. I mean, the one thing in the world that you have to be able to do is freely express yourself. You know, obviously people have crazy ideas, but the ability to talk about the things that you love and the things that you adore and the things that you admire is one of the most important things to me, guys, especially. You know, if you're not able to do that, guys, I mean, what are you really able to do in this world? If you're afraid that you're going to lose your job or lose this, it's like, what are you so afraid of? I just don't get it, guys. It's like, it's going to happen regardless eventually, right?
I found that incredibly sad that in a free democratic society, take a place like Ireland, right?
True.
You will not meet a gobby of people in the world, in a nice way. You are highly opinionated,
True.
You're bright, you're funny, you like a good crack, you like a laugh, right? But the idea that you all have to be stifled, censored, that's why I called my show...
It's very true, guys. That's probably the realest thing that Piers Morgan's ever said. I actually love this interview. You know, we're some of the mouthiest people in the world. Like, we just are, lads. Like, if you don't think that, like, we are. All my friends are, you know, cracked. You know, great crack, but also cracked, you know what I mean? But at the same time, guys, the idea that we have to be censored all the time and, like, not opinionated is just crazy, man. I find that absurd, man.
Laugh, right? But the idea that you all have to be stifled, censored, that's why I called my show Uncensored. No! And you should all be able to disagree with each other. You and I should be able to go to the pub, have a few pints of the black stuff, argue about everything, and then stay friends. Funny enough, Emily...
I'm like that with my friends. We argue about everything constantly, but we're still great friends, you know, for the most part. I mean, I don't know if people really, what they really think about me, but, you know, for the most part, guys, I don't, you know, I'm not a big arguing kind of guy. I mean, I'm not a big holder of grudges at all, man. I really don't care.
I like that. We have terrible dinner parties where we end up shouting at each other, and then we can't wait to do it again. That's how society should be.
That's how society should be. It's not how society is.
No.
Quick to shut that down, Peter Kilty. Why are you so quick to shut that down? Of course it is. Society should be like that, though. I'm not saying it's not. It isn't, but, like, why shouldn't it be like that?
You have kids. Deep down, do you not worry about the world that Donald Trump is going to leave your kids?
No, because
the cogs start turning, guys. The agendas start turning. Really? Like, what a weird question to ask.
Kids.
No, I don't. I would have been more worried if Kamala Harris had won, because it would have sent a message that this whole woke, as Elon Musk calls it, the woke mind virus. Now, woke has got a bad rap.
Dude, this is great that he's talking about this on the Late Late Show. I'm sure, and a lot of people watch this one. 107,000 views, and the comments are turned off. I don't know why RT turns the comments off all the time. Very strange, but...
Elon Musk calls it the woke mind virus. Now, woke has got a bad rap, rightly. What it used to be was raising awareness for social and racial injustice.
And nobody was against that, guys. Like, people were for the social and racial injustice, which does happen, you know, at certain times. But I don't think it happens too much anymore, guys. You know, that just, to me, seems like it was a thing of the past. Now you have these big, massive YouTubers, Myron Gaines. You have all these huge Rumble people on Twitter talking about how it's BS and you're using it as a crutch and, like, it's a victim thing. It's really good, guys. Like, the way the thing is starting to shift now is a bit better.
Rightly. What it used to be was raising awareness for social and racial injustice.
True.
By that criteria, I'm woke. But that's not what it is anymore. What it's become is a kind of new form of fascism, where people who identify as woke, they want to dictate how everybody else, how they dress, how they speak, what they find funny, the jokes that they can laugh at, the heroes that they can revere, the books
The PC culture, man. You can't make jokes anymore.
they can read, the movies they can enjoy. That is fascism. It's the very thing that they profess to hate most. And here's one example I'll give you. And this might not be popular in the room, but I don't care. And it's this. In America, the most popular ad that Trump did was about the whole issue of trans athletes in women's sport, which I've been very vocal about for years. I think it's completely unfair, unequal, and it shouldn't be happening.
If it's like ping pong, it's like whatever, right? Nobody really cares. But if it's like boxing and fighting, obviously that's you don't want to see that, right? So there is a give and take, guys. I'm a very fair guy. If it's like ping pong, I don't know. Even that, guys. I mean, like, it's just a difference in the bone structure and the strength, and man strength. Even when you're a 20-year-old man, you're still not the same as like a 30-year-old man. Even though you could be squatting more than him, it's just like your tendons and your bones and everything just feels so much stronger. You're just like a proper like man strength.
I also want equal rights and fairness for all trans people at the same time. There's nothing to do with being transphobic. It's about protecting women's rights. Trump did an ad, and all it said was, Kamala is for they, them. Trump is for you. They reckon it was the most effective 30-second political ad in modern times because it resonated with the public.
You say that, but the exit polls after that American election didn't talk about pronouns. They said people were voting on the economy. And
Yeah, but that
I agree. With like people were voting for money and the economy, guys. Let's be real, man. 2016, 2017, everyone just had shit. I just felt like I had a lot of money back then, and I didn't even really do too much. I had like a little bit of work, but it wasn't anything crazy. But you did feel richer for some reason.
ad, they reckon the New York Times, which is a liberal newspaper, they said that ad may have swung it by 2 to 3 points. Unbelievably effective.
A lot of people would also say that the trans community out there are people who are fearful and need supported, and the idea of being woke isn't about being a fascist. It's about going through life with, instead of having your eyes closed, having your eyes open and maybe just trying to be kind.
Do you even believe that?
Oh,
I do.
Really?
I think there's a lot of people
Come
do.
on.
Damn, Piers Morgan. Come on. Dude, this is legendary. Damn, this is wild, this interview, man. I can't believe.
Life with, instead of having your eyes closed, having your eyes open and maybe just trying to be kind.
Do you even believe that?
I do.
Really?
I think there's a lot of people
Come
do.
on. That's not what woke means.
Damn, that's legendary. Piers Morgan, man, actually putting it to us, guys. He's an Irish man. As much as people want to say, yeah, he's British and all that, but like his genetics are Irish, so kind of putting it to Peter Kilty there, man. He said, "Do you even believe that? Like, or are you just told to say that? Are you just paid to say that? You know what I mean?"
Woke is people running around screaming hysterically about absolutely everything, and they want to dictate how people lead their lives. And we are a free democratic society. You should be able to lead your life how you want to lead it. Have the opinions you want to have. Have the right to live your life how you want to lead it.
Do you believe everything you say, or is there an element,
Yeah, I
Piers, of stirring the pot?
I do. I genuinely hate vegan sausage rolls.
Vegan sausage rolls are good. Vegan sausage rolls are great. I used to love them.
But so does everybody else, because their sales are bombs. I was right about that as well.
Yeah, but the sales have gone. Just regular sausage rolls are great. You know what I mean? You don't have to make a vegan version of it. But I actually did like the vegan version of stuff. I actually very much do like vegan food. But the sales have bombed because they've just gone to shit. I don't know. People just don't like buying them, or they're expensive or something.
Look, I do believe what I say. It's not like I don't just literally sit there and go, let me find something to wind up all the wokies, even though they are very easy to wind up. But I genuinely believe what I say. But again, I come back to, you might categorise my views as controversial. I don't. I genuinely think...
I just categorise some of your views as wrong. I don't think they're controversial.
Well.
Why did that get a cheer? This is a weird interview.
In the same way that you said that I'm wrong.
Okay, let's test that theory. Which of my views do you think are so wrong?
I would say...
Patrick, how long have we got?
how long have we got?
He's running down the clock. You see my point?
I'm not running down the clock.
Now you're struggling, right?
No.
Because you know I'm controversial, but you can't remember why.
Piers, we literally could be here until 12 o'clock. Until 12 o'clock.
Give me one.
Well, I think the idea of supporting Trump, for a start.
I didn't support Trump. I said he'd win.
If he called you in the morning, would you take a job?
Well, hang on. You say no. I wouldn't take a job. No, absolutely not. No.
What a weird thing to say. Would he take a job? What the hell? He's not even. First of all, he's not even American. Like, taking a job in the administration roles, that's you got to be somewhat American, right? It's such an odd thing to say, bro. I'm telling you, these guys, man, you think that Peter Kilty is all, non-biased and stuff, but then when you really dive into it, it's all just bought and paid for.
You in the morning, would you take a job?
Well, hang on. You say no. I wouldn't take a job. No, absolutely not. No, it's not. No, I'm a journalist. I don't take jobs with administrations in government.
Really?
No, absolutely
the
not.
phone goes, "Hey Piers, I really need you. Come on, I really need you, Piers."
I have had a few funny phone calls with him recently. In fact, you've reminded me of a great one. It was in early October, and I was in a pub in Scotland, had a couple of pints, and we thought, why don't we FaceTime Trump? And so we FaceTimed him, and he was on his plane, and he answered, "Is that my apprentice?" And "Hey, President Trump, how are you?" And we got talking, and I could hear in the background a song playing. And I was like, "Is that Sinead O'Connor you're playing?" He said, "Yeah, I love Sinead. Love Sinead. It was Nothing Compares to You."
Oh, Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You is a great song, a great track. Very Irish lady, of course. She actually sadly passed away last year. I think she took her own life as well. Her son took her own life. Sad, tragic ending to Sinead O'Connor. She was a legend, though.
And Trump was playing it in his plane. And then about 3 days later, at a big rally, and they played the Sinead song for the first time. So he's the kind of guy you can ring him up. I rang him up the morning after the election. And it rang and rang and rang. I thought he's bound to be asleep. It was like 9 in the morning on the Wednesday. And then I heard, "Piers, can you believe this? This is something else, huh?" I said, "I'm looking at a screen that says you've won the Senate, the House, everything, the White House. It's a clean sweep. And I just want to say to you, I know we've had a rocky time over the years, up and down. This is the greatest political comeback I've ever seen in my life." And knowing he likes his golf, I said, "You're now the Tiger Woods of politics." He loved that.
And yet you still say that you weren't cozying up to him just because...
No, it's not about cozying up to him. I make no pretense. Donald Trump's been a friend of mine for nearly 20 years, right? If you ran for politics, I might find some of your views outrageous, but I still would want to be friendly with you, right? I still call you if you won an election and say, "Patrick, well done, mate."
I mean,
right?
to be honest, if I was running for election, I mean, I wouldn't want you ringing me, Piers. I
don't know. I got quite a good win record, actually. No, look, I think it's one of those things where with Trump, he became a good friend of mine. He was very loyal to me. When I left CNN and came back to UK, I could count on one hand the number of high-profile Americans who bothered to stay in touch. And he used to call me like every 3 weeks and send me little notes and be encouraging. "Can I help you?" But when I was of no use to him whatsoever. And I like that streak in him. I like his loyalty. I also think that when he got shot, he showed the world a different side to him we wouldn't have expected. I wouldn't have done. The way he got back up when he was shot and said, "Fight, fight, fight."
Do you think that changed the election?
I think it won him the election.
Yeah, that is what won him the election. This is not.
I think
good.
a lot of Americans.
This is not good for RT guys. They don't want this pro-Trump stuff on their TV show. So
admired just the sheer balls of doing that, and that's their decision, which you have to respect.
Piers, I can only say there is never a dull moment. Come back and see us anytime. Give it up one more time. Piers Morgan.
Thank you.
Seems like a bit of a short segment, man, to have on the show. But yeah, absolutely legendary. Piers Morgan, kind of putting it to the man right there, man. Showing the Irish people what really he's about. I love you guys all. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the Patreon. What do you all think, guys? I definitely think that sentiment, is kind of gone now. I feel like, people used to hate Piers Morgan. Obviously, he has some views that I don't agree with. For sure, I don't agree with. But there, guys, when he's pushing this sort of like anti-woke agenda, I mean, it's great, guys. You want to be more free, more open to say what you want. And that's kind of what matters, man. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Stay free. Peace.